China and Australia have recently signed a landmark free trade agreement. What are the substantial benefits do you think that the FTA will bring to the people of our two nations?
Well, this is a great outcome, I think, for both countries. It's been a long time coming. In the period that I was Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Australia, we engaged in many years of negotiations. And I'm very glad of the fact that this has been concluded under my successor as Australian Prime Minister, Mr. Abbott. Because it doesn't matter who is in power. This is important for the country, it's important for the people of the two countries, and it's important for the future. In a practical sense, it just brings down the barriers over time in so many areas of trade in goods and services, whether it's in agriculture or manufacturing or the services sector. The whole point is to make it easier for people to do business with each other. The other advantage we have in Australia when it comes to e-commerce is that we have a national broadband network which we commenced under my government, and that is to link all Australians wherever they are, small communities, big cities, through high-speed broadband to customers and suppliers right around the world. So there may be e-commerce links between China and Australia, and they're good, but it's not just Australian exports coming here. You will find many Chinese exporters using exactly the same technology. And the good thing about the free trade agreement is it creates an atmosphere, a culture, as well as a reality of making this easier and easier over time.
And do you think that the decision-making of the bank is just conducted in the very transparent and open manner?
Well, I think those who have been establishing the bank so far have been very clear about the fact that their aspiration is to make the AIIB's operations even more transparent than existing multilateral development banks. Those responsible for the establishment, including Mr. Deng Liqun, are people of fine standing and good reputation around the world. And so all I can say is, so far so good. Of course, setting up these institutions is always difficult. And China will discover that running a multilateral institution with multiple shareholders will have its own complexities. But the important thing is cooperate for a common objective, which is to enhance the global economy.
Well, when it comes to collective efforts in tackling climate change, negotiations have to balance between different national interests and the common overall interest. So is there any formula to balance the different interests between developing and developed countries?
The method that we've adopted through the process which I was party to in Copenhagen more than 5 years ago is to allow each country to attach its national declarations of effort to the proposed Paris Agreement. If you add all those up, they must equal a commitment which is able to have greenhouse gas emissions peak at 450 parts per million in order to keep temperature increases within 2 degrees centigrade. So the Paris formula, I think, should be, if those numbers don't add up to that amount, then we must immediately review the Paris Agreement so that every country does more, so that the total amount of greenhouse gas reductions occurs. The planet is not really interested in who reduces where. The planet is interested in the aggregate reduction, and that's what we must guarantee.